In this video, we're going to be looking at transformations. It's a grade 3 topic, and within transformations, we're going to be looking at enlargement in particular. So we've got 4 questions here, and we are going to have to enlarge the shape, enlarge the object for each of these questions. So let's start off with question number 1. It says enlarge shape A. So you can see that here. So that's what the question is. Enlarge shape A. So we're going to have to make it larger. Sometimes just make it smaller, but we're going to be changing the size. That's what enlargement means. We'll be changing the size. Enlarge shape A by scale factor of 2. Now if the scale factor is 2, it means we're going to be making it 2 times bigger. From a center of enlargement 3, 4. So we are going to have to mark that point on our coordinate grid. So that is coordinate 3, 4. So before I start, let's just also cover that if the scale factor is 3, it means make the shape 3 times bigger. If the scale factor is 10, it means make the shape 10 times bigger. If the scale factor is a half, it means that you're going to make the shape half the size of what it is. If the scale factor is, let's say, 1/3, you're going to make the shape a third of the size of what it is in a question, and so forth. So that's what we mean by scale factor. Okay, so when we do look at this question, it says enlarge it by a scale factor of 2. So we're going to be making this shape 2 times bigger from the center of enlargement 3, 4. So what we're going to do when it comes to transformations is the first step is to find the center of enlargement. So it says it's 3, 4. So coordinates 3, 4 will be over there. That there is our center of enlargement. Yeah. So there we go. Nice and clear. Now, it says enlarge it by scale factor of 2. Now, this is how we're going to do it. We've got our center of enlargement and our shape is a triangle, so it has 3 points. So I'm going to say point number 1, I'm going to say point number 2, and I'm going to say point number 3. So it's got 3 points. Now, there is going to be a journey from the center of enlargement to each point. So there's going to be a journey to get to point 1. There's going to be a journey to get to point 2. There is going to be a journey to get to point 3. So you can see that there are going to be 3 journeys. What we're going to do is, because the scale factor is 2, we're just going to work out what is the journey to each of these 3 points. And because the scale factor is 2, we're going to do twice the journey. So we're going to want to do twice the journey. So what we'll do is we'll start off with point number 1, which you can just see over here. So that's this corner there. That's point number 1. So to get to point number 1, what is the journey? Well, we can see from the center of enlargement, we go 2 to the right. So if we go 2 to the right as a column vector, 2 to the right, only 2 to the right will be 2. And we're not going up or down to get to 1. So it's 2, 0. That is the column vector movement, the translation. So we've got that. Okay, now what about, how do we get to point number 2? We start from the center of enlargement and we go 3 to the right. That's all that's happening. We go 3 to the right and we don't go up or down. So I'm just going to put 3, 0. And then for the final point, which is point number 3, how do we get to point number 3? 3 to the right, 2 up. So we're going to want 3 to the right and 2 up. There we go. Now, we've got our journey, but because the scale factor is 2, we're going to want to do twice the journey. So if we do twice the journey, we're just going to multiply our initial journeys by 2. So when we go to do that, what do we then get? So we've got 2, 0, multiply the whole vector by 2, we're going to have 4, 0. With the next one, we've got 3, 0, multiply the whole vector by 2, we're going to have 6, 0. And then for the final one, we've got 3, 2, multiply the whole vector by 2, you're going to have 6, 4. There we go. So those are our, essentially, this gives us our new journey. Yeah. So our new journey is essentially that part there for each of those points. So let's start with our new point number 1. Yeah, our new point number 1. So instead of going 2, 0, we're going to go 4, 0. So we'll go 4 to the right from our center of enlargement. We'll go 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we will not go up or down. So that is our new point. Now let's go to point number 2. For our new journey, we're going to be doing 6, 0. So we'll go 6 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're not going to be going up or down because it's 0. So that is our new point. Okay, now time for point number 3, which is that one there. We're going to go 6 to the right and 4 up. So 6 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be just up there. Having done that, we are going to now be able to draw our new shape, our enlarged shape. And you're going to want to be using a ruler. So we've got the base there. We've got that part of our shape. And there we go. But of course you use a ruler. Now, as you can see, what we've done is we've enlarged shape A by scale factor of 2 from the center of enlargement. So having a look, let's just double check that it is twice the size. So over here where we've got 1 unit, over here we've got 2 units. So yes, it is twice the size. Not just that, but over here where we have 2 units, over here we've got 4 units. So yes, it is twice the size. So the check makes sense. The final thing that you will do, let's see how well we can do it on here. Yep, good. Is we can draw some lines. I call these rays. Yeah. So what we do is I will use that line, but we've got, for example, our new number 1, we've got our new number 2, and we've got our new number 3. Now what happens is when we go to draw rays from the center of enlargement, we should find that it will go through number 1 and number 1. It should go through number 2 and number 2. It should go through number 3 and number 3. What do I mean by that? Okay, have a look. It means that from the center of enlargement, if we draw a line with our ruler, it will go through the point and its corresponding point. So it goes through 3 and 3. Okay, so if we do it for the 1 and yeah, you can see if I do this, it'll go through point 1 and point 1, but it also goes through point 2 and point 2. So this itself is our final check, just to make sure that that our enlarged shape is in the correct position. And hopefully this will make more sense with the other questions. Okay, so that's question number 1 finished. So over here we've got question number 2. Let's have a look at the question. It says enlarge shape A by scale factor. So enlarge shape A by scale factor of 2. Scale factor is 2, so make the shape 2 times bigger. From the center of enlargement, which is 9, 3. So first thing is let's essentially mark the center of enlargement, which is 9, 3. So we go across 9 and we go up to 3. that point there. Yeah. So this is our center of enlargement. Make sure it's clear. Let the examiner know that you know where the center of enlargement is. Now, it says we're going to enlarge it by scale factor of 2. So, we've got a journey to go to each of these 3 points. So, point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. How do we get to each of these points from the center of enlargement? So, to get to point number 1, how do we get there? And we're going to describe it with a column vector. So you can see it's 2 to the left, 1 up. So 2 to the left is -2, and then 1 up is 1. How do we get to point 2? To get there, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1 up. So 3 to the left will be -3, 1 up will be 1. And then how do we get to point number 3? It's going to be 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So 3 to the left, 4 up. So 3 to the left is -3, and 4 up will be 4. So that's our journey to each of the points. Scale factor is 2, so we're going to be doing twice the journey. So to do twice the journey, we're going to multiply all of our journeys by 2. So for the first one, if we do that, -2 times 2 is -4. 1 times 2 is 2. For the second journey, we're going to have -3 times 2 is -6. And then 1 times 2 is 2. And then for the final journey, we're going to have -3 times 2 is -6. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So let's now work out what will be our new points for our shape. So we're going to go for the first one, 4 to the left, 2 up. So 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 up, 1, 2. That is my new point number 1. Okay, for the next one, we are going to go 6 to the left, 2 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left, 2 up. There we go, right there. That's going to be my new point number 2. For number 3, we go -6, 8. So -6, 8. So that's 6 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. Having done that, it looks like we've got our 3 points. So you'll use a ruler to draw your new shape. So I'm now just going to double check that it is actually 2 times bigger. So to check that it's 2 times bigger, over here we've got 1. Over here we've got 2. So the base goes from 1 to 2. Yes, that's 2 times bigger. So I am convinced. Now let me check the height. So the height we've got here 3, which means that this height should be 6 if we make it 2 times bigger. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it is 2 times bigger. So I'm convinced that the new shape is 2 times bigger than the initial given shape. Okay, so it is enlarged. Now that that's done, final thing, do not forget to do the raise to see if the shape, the enlarged shape, is in the right position. So you simply use your ruler to draw a straight line from your point through. You can see, well, those are the 3s. We can start with number 1s if you want. So can you see number 1 and number 1 in blue? If I do this, it goes through number 1 and number 1 and the center of enlargement. So we need points that go through the center of enlargement but it also goes through the vertice and its corresponding vertice. So you can see that it goes from the center of enlargement and it goes through point 2 and point 2. And then lastly, let's see if it goes through point 3, and I'm sure you suspect that it will. So will it go through point 3? Yep. We can see that it goes through 3 and 3. So obviously you do this in pencil just to make sure that it is as accurate as possible. Okay, whatever it is, that itself works. So those are our rays and it confirms that it's correct. So before you leave the exam, you know you've definitely got the answer correct. Okay, so let's now move on to number 3 and then number 4 so that you are super clear on what to do. So what we've got is it says enlarge shape A by scale factor of 3. So enlarge, we're going to make it bigger or smaller by scale factor of 3. Okay, that means we're going to make it 3 times bigger. And we've been given the center of enlargement, which is 10, 3. So first let's work out, or should I say, let's mark our center of enlargement. So we're going to go across 10, up 3. So coordinate 10, 3 is there. And we're going to enlarge this by scale factor of 3. So we're going to have a journey, yeah? So as we journey through transformations, right now in this question, we are going to journey from the center of enlargement to points number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so how is it that we get to point number 1? So from the center of enlargement, we go 1 left, 1 up. So 1 left is -1, 1 up is 1. How is it that we'll get to point number 2? Well, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left and 1 up. So 3 to the left, so that's -3, and 1 up is 1. How is it that we're going to get to point number 3? 1 left, 2 up. So 1 left is -1, and then 2 up is -2. So now that we've done that, because these are our journeys to get to from the center of enlargement to the shape, the question is asking us to enlarge it by a scale factor of 3. So we're going to be doing 3 times the journey. So we'll times by 3. Yeah. So we'll multiply by 3. In doing that, what we're going to get? So -1 times 3 is -3. 1 times 3 is 3. To get to point number 2, -3 times 3 is -9. 1 times 3 is 3. And to get to point number 3 is going to be -1 times 3 is -3. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So now let's make a journey from the center of enlargement to our new 3 points. So we're going to go from the center of enlargement, 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, and 3 up, 1, 2, 3. So over here will be our new point number 1. For point number 2, 9 to the left and 3 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to the left, 3 up, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there. That's our new point number 2. Point number 3, 3 to the left and 6 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. And then, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. And then, no, it's 3 to the left. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 to the left, 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now, we've got our 3 points for our new shape. So let's draw the shape. So we've got the height there. We've got the base there. And then I'm going to essentially use a ruler. So straight line. There we go. Yeah. So now we've got our triangle. Now, the scale factor is 3. So my question is a new triangle 3 times bigger? Well, let's have a look. So the base of this triangle is 2, which means that if it's 3 times bigger, we want the base to be 6. So this should be 6. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it is. So so far we can see that the base is 3 times bigger. Let's also check the height. So we've got 1 there, which will mean that if it's 3 times bigger, the height should be 3. So let's check 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is 3 times bigger. Great. So now that we've done that, there's one final thing that we have to do. Do you remember what it is? The raise. Now, with the raise, so the line, it goes from the center of enlargement and it should go through the vertices, so the corners, but if it goes through one here, it should go through one there. Yeah. When it goes through 3 here, it should go through 3 there at the same time when we extend the line. So let's get the lines here. We'll start off with point number 1. So we go from the center of enlargement, we use our ruler and we draw a line, and as you can see, it goes through not just the center of enlargement, but goes through 1 and 1. Okay, now let's do another one to make sure that it goes through 2 and 2 with the same line. So the same line, does it go through 2 and 2? It goes through 2 and 2. Yes, it does. So with that, so far, so good. And then finally, does it go through 3 and 3? So from the center of enlargement, it goes through 3 and it goes through 3 as well. So with that, we are convinced that the answer is 100% correct. Okay, now lastly, question number 4. So we can see here that it says enlarge shape A. So that means make the shape bigger or smaller by a scale factor of a half. So what does that mean? It means make the shape half the size. And we've been given the center of enlargement, which is 1, 3. So first thing that we do is we find the center of enlargement, which is 1, 3. So that is there. Mark the center of enlargement. And then next, we're going to go to our shape. We've got our 3 vertices. And then we're just going to label them 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. So those are our vertices. And then we're going to, which I'm sure you remember, journey. We're going to make a journey from the center of enlargement to each point. And then from that, we will multiply it by the scale factor. So how do we get to point number 1? So to get to point number 1, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So 4 to the right, 4 up. So we'll go 4 to the right and we'll go 4 up. So that is the column vector. How is it that we get to point number 2? So to get to point number 2, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So 10 to the right, 10 to the right, and 4 up. How is it that we're going to get to point number 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what we've then got is 8, 8. So to get to point number 3, we went 8 to the right and 8 up. Okay, so now we know what journey we're making. we are going to multiply it by the scale factor because we're only going to want to do, as you can see there, half the journey. So times it by a half, times it by a half, times it by a half. So we're going to be halving these. When we go to do that, 4 times a half. So basically, this is the same as a half of 4. So that's going to be 2. 4 times a half, 2. With the second one, 10 times a half is going to be 5. So half of 10. So that's going to be 5. And then a half of 4. So 4 times a half is 2. And then for the last one, we've got 8 times a half, which is 4. 8 times a half, which is 4. So now we've got the column vectors for our new journey. Yeah, so we'll essentially make these movements from the center of enlargement. So let's start off with number 1, which is 2 to the right, 2 up. So 2, 2, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 2 up, 1, 2. So over here is my new point number 1. Okay, now point number 2, 5 to the right, 2 up. So we'll go 5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 up, 1, 2. There. That is going to be our new point number 2. And lastly, point number 3, which is 4, 4. So 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, up there. That's going to be our new point number 3. Having done that, we can, because we have our 3 points, we can draw our new shape. So here we go. And that's it. But before we finish, we will check to see that the shape is half the size. So if it's half the size, where we've got this here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For something that is half the size, we expect it to be 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, it is half the size. The only other thing that you can check is the height, where here we've got 2. So the height is 2. So the height here is 1, 2, 3, 4. We went from 4 to 2. So yes, it got halved. So it is half the size. Yeah. So with that, that is one of our checks. With the other check, what do we call it? I call it the ray method. So we're going to draw lines from the center of enlargement, and it must go through the whatever we've numbered the point and its corresponding point. So we've got number 1 here and number 1 here. So we've got one line there, and it goes through the 1 and the 1. It also goes through the 3 and the 3 at the same time. So fantastic. That's 2 birds down with 1 stone. And then let's go for the 2s. It goes through 2 there, and it goes through 2 there as well. So with that, it works. And we are convinced that our answer is 100% correct. So that's essentially it. That itself is grade 3 transformations, enlargement in particular.